The Niagara River is an important natural resource for both people and wildlife living along both sides of the border in the US and in Canada. Over the past few years, partners on both sides of the border have been working together toward restoring fish and wildlife habitat in the Niagara River. Now let's hear from some of the people involved in these habitat restoration projects.
The U.S. side, we have a habitat plan for restoring basically as much as we can of coastal wetland areas along the river. We are doing a total of 12 projects. The Spicer Creek Management Area project is one of those 12. We have a total of 3 projects completed at this point. We have 3 more that are underway. A couple more are in the design process and will be starting soon. These projects altogether should restore about 100 acres of coastal wetland along the upper Niagara River on the U.S. side.
As we know, Buffalo was a very industrial city last century and the century before, and that's what led to most of the habitat loss, mostly through physical removal of near shore and wetland habitats. The Motor Strawberry Island complex in the middle of the river is essentially a remnant gravel bar that was deposited there during the last glacial retreat. Now, this is an important area, just like many other areas in the Great Lakes and the connecting channels. There's shallow water, and when there's shallow water, there's adequate vegetation that provides the habitat. Former wetlands, submerged aquatic vegetation, and those specific habitats are extremely important for the life histories of most of our fish and wildlife.
The Niagara River was listed as an area of concern in the late 1980s because of water quality problems, historic problems due to contaminants and bacteria in the water, as well as the loss of habitat. Dealing with the loss of habitat in the Niagara River is really important to help protect and restore ecosystem health. The Niagara River area of concern is actually shared with the United States of America. Fish and wildlife don't have a passport and don't understand that there's this invisible boundary between the two countries. So it's really important to work together because it benefits the entire Niagara River ecosystem. The project behind me is an example of a coastal wetland restoration project which helps benefit fish as well as wildlife in this area.
So today we're installing coastal wetland fish habitat, which basically means we're installing trees and logs and rock to create instant habitat for fish. And long term, we're going to slow down the water and create some sediment traps and allow plants to establish, which provides nursery habitat for fish. The Riparian Zone is the transitional area between the land and the water, so we also call it the buffer zone. And basically it's a vegetated area that provides wildlife habitat. There's a lot of vegetation, slows down water runoff from the land, it filters off some of the pollution, and it also shades the water, improving water quality and lowering the temperature of the water.
These habitat projects are really critical for birds and for fish to be able to live, reproduce, and eat. It also helps plants establish in this area, so in a few years we might see some wetland plants coming out of the water at this location. We're making tremendous progress on the Niagara River because of partners working together on the remedial action plan and people like you who are interested in supporting this work. We are looking forward to eventually removing the Niagara River from the list of Great Lakes areas of concern. Visit our website to learn more about these projects and the Niagara River Remedial Action Plan Initiative.